But yeah, my kid's dad did respond and said, no, he doesn't want to get back together after finding out that I've hooked up with one person. And well, again, that was like the response I was expecting. I'm one, glad I was honest, and two, I think in his mind, that's what hurts, is that like there was, like, I'm now tainted. But I think in my head, and I think most women, and I feel like, I don't know, most people in general would just agree that one person, one person.
After a break, she contacted her ex to let him know she was ready to be with him again, but she didn't expect that he was no longer interested. She didn't know that being with someone else during that time would affect him so deeply that he would reject the idea of getting back together. Now she doesn't understand why he can't move past it when it's already in the past.
Your girl is 45 minutes from the crib.
Uh-oh.
She texts you. She's like, hey, babe, you know, it's real late. I'm super tired. I'm just going to go crash at my bestie's house. Her bestie's a boy. But that's her brother, though. Strictly platonic.
What time do he pull up to come grab the rest of your things?
For real.
Are you about to do what?
No, but it's platonic. Like, that's her brother. It's no feelings.
That's not a thing.
It is. That's her brother.
What time do he got like a U-Haul or a Ram truck? You want to back up to the house?
No, she's look, you 45 minutes. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. You probably got something to do in the morning. I don't want to disturb you, so I'm just going to crash at his place.
That's where you stay now.
That's whoa.
That's where you stay now.
That's crazy. You're supposed to have trust in your relationship.
What do you mean you about to spend the night at another man's house?
You're supposed to have trust in your relationship.
Ain't no-
Wait, that's her brother. She's known him longer than she's known you.
I'm tossing and turning all night, baby.
That's
I
crazy.
don't know what y'all doing.
That's
I'm
her
good.
brother. No, you can't do that.
I don't believe in that.
Wow.
So this a straight man, right?
I couldn't have said it better. That was the perfect response for the situation. As he said, that's where she's going to stay from now on. I don't understand why she was playing the platonic friendship card with another man when she knows full well that, in most cases, those friendships aren't truly platonic. Let's be honest, usually, the guy is just waiting for a chance to be upgraded. Why was she even out that late without her partner anyway? But that's a conversation for another time. At the end of the day, spending the night at another man's house is not normal. Some might call it insecurity, but it has nothing to do with it. It's called having boundaries.
I know it's different when a woman hooks up with a man versus a man going out and hooking up with a bunch of women, just because, like, you know, going in of things. But yeah, my kid's dad did respond and said, no, he doesn't want to get back together after finding out that I've hooked up with one person since being with him. Mind you, I got with him at age 21. And well, again, that was like the response I was expecting. I'm one, glad I was honest, and two, I think in his mind, that's what hurts, is that like there was, like, I'm now tainted. But I think in my head, and I think most women, and I feel like, I don't know, most people in general would just agree that one person since being with him from the age of 21 to 28, one person. I don't think that's criminal. I think that hurts his ego a bit, but honesty is the best policy, guys. And you know what? That's just a sign. Because the other thing he would make me do is like probably get rid of TikTok, and come on, we're trying to get rich or die trying. I don't know.
She doesn't know what changed, but things just aren't the same anymore. The truth is that most men would prefer to end things completely the moment a break enters the conversation, because they know exactly what it often means. She was fortunate to have found someone willing to accept the idea of a break. She also assumed that he wouldn't mind if she had a short adventure during that time, but she was wrong. He genuinely tried to give the relationship another chance, but that was simply too much. Even the nicest guys have their limits, and it seems he reached his. What she's describing is exactly why most guys walk away the moment a break is brought up. More often than not, it signals that someone else is already in the picture, and the break just provides space to explore it without guilt. In the end, he did both of them a favor. By walking away, he removed himself from the role of a second option. Let's be honest. If things had worked out with the other guy, she likely wouldn't have reached out to him again. So why should he entertain that kind of relationship? She didn't need to be with someone else to realize she loved the man she was with. That's something she should have already known.
The trend where moms show a picture of themselves before they had a child, and then they show a picture of themselves after they've had that child. That's why I don't have kids. Amen. Because being child-free is a blessing. Being child-free is a blessing. Children literally suck the life out of their mother when you were like incubating it. They drain the life out of you. They drain the nutrients from your body. They drain your energy. You will never be the same once you have a child. They will be leeching off you for the rest of your life. I know that sounds so bad. Maybe God will change my heart in the future and make me want a child. But right now, in my youth, no. So I just want to thank all the mothers for posting that, to just reaffirm to all the child-free people of our decision. Thank you.
The saddest part about this video is that the people who created the content she's referencing actually achieved what they set out to do. Their goal was to push an unrealistic image of what motherhood looks like, and unfortunately, this young woman bought into it. It's gotten to the point where she now feels blessed not to have children, and that's sad. What she doesn't realize is that the creators of that content weren't speaking from truth. They were chasing views. It was all about money and engagement. They didn't show the full picture, and they definitely didn't mean what they said. If you asked most of those women behind the videos whether they'd go back and do it differently, they'd probably tell you they wouldn't change a thing. They'd still choose motherhood again and again. But now this young woman has been convinced that having children is a burden, when in reality, it's not the truth. Having kids is a blessing. What's unfortunate is how a trend managed to shape her entire perspective on something so meaningful. This is exactly why people need to be careful about the kind of content they consume online. Because more often than not, it doesn't reflect reality. It reflects what performs well.
What's the worst financial decision you ever made in your life?
Having a stay-at-home girlfriend.
A stay-at-home girlfriend?
Yeah.
So you pay for everything?
Yes.
Okay, why do you say that?
It wasn't my wife. It was a girlfriend. So they can up and leave at any point they want to.
Is that what she did? Yeah. That's the thing about women, huh? Or not, you tell me.
It's not the thing about women, it's the thing about certain women, right?
About certain women, correct.
Certain women don't know what they want, and even if you provide everything that she may want, you just might not be the one for her.
Yeah. And then how'd that make you feel when she left?
It hurt, because at the end of the day, you're just thinking about all the money you spent, all the time you lost, and then it's like, damn, that wasn't even my wife.
Right.
I was just my partner.
Yeah, so looking back, retrospect, do you regret it?
I don't. I appreciate the love, but I do kind of wish I took somebody else to Europe with me.
Yeah. I feel that. All right.
The whole stay-at-home girlfriend conversation is wild. But what does that even mean? What exactly was she doing at home that made it impossible for her to work? I always thought the only real reason for someone to be in that position was to take care of children or manage the household, something that adds real value. But from what he described, it honestly just sounded like a high level of simping. I genuinely wish I could talk to him and ask what made him think it was okay to have a fully capable, grown woman living with him while contributing nothing. If they had kids, sure, that would justify her staying at home. But without that, his decision just doesn't make sense. I don't know what he thought he was accomplishing. Maybe he believed that doing everything for her would make her stay, but clearly, that didn't work. Hopefully, other guys are paying attention and learning from his mistake, because here's the truth. It's not worth investing your time and energy just to end up realizing it was a bad call. The idea of a stay-at-home girlfriend without any real responsibility or contribution is not a sustainable setup, and he learned that the hard way.
Another day of men being livid at the fact that women in their 30s are not gagging for love so much that they are willing to settle for what they don't want. And it's so hilarious because I actually feel bad for men, because it feels like all their lives they have been told that women expire, yeah, once they hit their 30s, which in a way makes it seem that once women hit their 30s, you don't worry, because that girl, that hot babe that you couldn't get when she was young and in her prime, she's gonna want you now because she is gagging for it. And what a lie, what a lie. You don't need to understand that before, women needed to partner up, because if they didn't partner up, they wouldn't be able to have a house, they wouldn't have any money, they wouldn't be able to do anything for themselves. Times have changed. Women are out earning men in ways that are unbelievable. If I could be with a woman, I would. These women, I want them to look after me. I want them to look after me. The girls are making money. But you lot are expecting these women who have built beautiful lives for themselves to just settle with a guy who is earning less simply because he might be a good guy. There's more to life than just being a good guy.
This is exactly why the dating scene has become so challenging. Things have become so materialistic that people rarely talk about love or compatibility, especially when discussing someone they claim to want to build a life with. As she said, being a good man is no longer enough. Now he is expected to match or exceed her income, and that's where the disconnect begins. What does money have to do with genuine connection? It's as if the size of his bank account matters more than the chemistry or potential compatibility between them.
And also, it's the same for men. Like, you're not just going to be with a woman because she's a good woman.
That statement completely misses the mark and shows a real lack of understanding about what most men value. We're not looking for someone with a certain salary or social status. Most of us just want a woman we connect with. Someone who's kind, loyal, and enjoyable to be around. She doesn't have to be a beauty queen or a boss babe. If there's mutual respect and she carries herself with warmth and integrity, that's more than enough.